Oh,
What?
I just thought I finally got rid of you.
I don't think you can.
One Day is a story about love through time. Emma and Dexter are two people who meet at a graduation night, July 15 of 1988. They seem to hit it off pretty naturally. As we come to find out, Emma had a crush on Dexter but never really did anything about it. When they chat all night and almost end up at a one-night stand, Emma backs up due to a bigger interest on getting to know Dexter, behind his womanizer image.
So late, no more talking.
You know, there's nothing sexier than talking.
For the first time, Dexter is faced with more than a hookup. Something intrigues him about Emma. He doesn't know yet, but this is a real connection, one of the few we make in our lives. Real connections come down to people seeing right through you. They care about you and they call you out when it's needed. You laugh, cry, love, and be mad at them at times. All because you guys matter to each other. So what happens in one day is that after that night, they spend the day together and it all feels like that's it. That's all there will be. They won't keep in touch, won't trade numbers. It's just that one day. Until...
Emily! I thought I'd lost you. Sorry, they weren't meant to come down until later. And then I realised I don't have any way of getting in touch with you.
Dexter breaks their prediction. And it all makes sense because Emma is more of a pragmatic and Dexter lives in the moment. And so their journey begins. Every year, July 15, we get a glimpse of their life and what they're up to, plus how their relationship is affecting one another. Now, it's easy to say that they'll end up together. After all, that spark from the first episode is present throughout the whole series. But even if that's the case, getting there surely can't be that obvious, right? What makes the stories about love through time excel is the tension between the characters, the ins and outs of their minds, and their eventual understanding that they found someone special to them. So, how do we get to that crucial moment? And how does it pay off? How we, as an audience, cheer that they finally have come to their senses. That's what I'm looking to analyze in this video. That was a long introduction, but hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be analyzing the miniseries One Day that is on Netflix. There has been an adaptation before of the book of the same name, and it was a movie released in 2011 starring Anne Hathaway and Gene Sturgis. And while that adaptation is surely charming, it doesn't stand near to what they've done in this miniseries. So, for this story, for that moment to hit as fulfilling as it can be, it's extremely important the development of the characters. If they don't grow through the years, then putting them together just like that won't make any sense or be as exciting. We already know that Emma and Dexter are a case of the famous trope opposites attract. It's quite obvious that there's an attraction there, but what else? What else they have to add to each other? They're supportive of one another, they encourage each other to stand up, try new things. They won't shoot things down if they need a proper chat. Through hard times and good times they're present, but never in a way that they don't have individual lives. They're both struggling with their demons and at times they can be at the same place in person. But they are a letter away, a phone call away, on their minds. But most of all, since this takes place throughout many years, they grew up together. In their 20s, they are two young adults who have no idea what they're doing with their lives. Who can relate? Right? But it couldn't be in more different ways. Emma is not a working writer as she wishes. She's in disbelief of her work, not feeling confident enough or know how to pursue such a dream, which leads her to eventually landing on a teaching job. A job that makes her feel like she's actually doing something. While Dexter is completely oblivious to working due to his wealthy background. Things usually come easy his way, and so he thinks eventually something will pop up and he'll give it a try. Hence, he becoming a TV presenter. That doesn't mean that his parents are not worried for him, because while they are aware that Dexter has had everything in life, they know that he has to find a way to make a living. In the early days of their friendship, there's a gap moment where things seem like they might take a turn for Emma and Dexter. On a vacation trip to Greece, Emma set some rules of boundaries to keep things platonic between them. She knows Dexter has a flirty way and doesn't want to repass where they are now. Him, on the other hand, keeps the flirt on and reminisces on the night they've met. And while their chemistry is undeniable in this moment, their play for nature and all, Dexter gets honest with Emma, which brings her right back to reality.
I mean, I felt the same. I didn't write any poetry or anything, but I fancied you. I fancy you. It's just my problem is that I fancy pretty much everyone.
He breaks her rose-colored glasses. For a moment, it seemed possible that they would start something, but they aren't in the same place, they didn't grow enough for this to be viable. It's the first moment that we as an audience think like, damn, we can't deny they're in different moments, and that their approach to life is not the same or even manageable. It really is right place, wrong time. You would think that they would grow apart from here, but they stick strong to that friendship. Unfortunately, we hit a breaking point. A difficult period starts after that. Dexter's mom is sick and doesn't have much time left. After a visit gone wrong at his parents' house a year later, his mom has passed and he has delved himself into substance abuse, turning into someone who's not present and mostly rude. They hit a rough patch that sums into a fight. Emma is unhappy with the state of her life and needs to talk to her friend. Her relationship isn't going wonders and she still hasn't completed a writing project. Their dinner party is cut short after Dexter fails to notice Emma's complete discomfort, plus his continuous absence due to his intakes. He's so out of himself, so out of touch, that he says the most unbelievable thing to her during their conversation.
You know what they say about teaching, right?
No, Dex. No, I'm not familiar. What did they say?
Those who can, do. Those who can't.
So go fuck yourself, Dex!
Jesus Christ!
He attacks her where it most hurt, through this consideration to her feelings and her journey so far, only to wash their dirty laundry at the most inappropriate time, not understanding that he needs help, she needs help. They can't go on, not like this. And so, after that, they don't see each other for the next 2 years, starting life during that time. Which leads me to talk about the one who got away. When they re-encounter, Emma has broken up with her previous partner and is now working on her book, with advance and everything. Dexter is out of his vices and with someone that comes from a wealthy background, but is more traditional than his. Here, we are faced with the opposite of their trip to Greece. Right person, wrong time. They've grown in more ways than one and made decisions that seemingly led them to better places. In their 30s now, it was just a matter of reconciliation, But Dexter has taken up other responsibilities. He's going to get married and has a baby on the way. This is the moment where Emma and Dexter become the one that got away. And they know it too. They've come to understand by now how much they matter in each other's lives. They know that they can have each other back, but again, to a certain degree. And it hurts to see deeply. They were ready, it was meant to be, and yet, what's stopping them isn't something bad, isn't their mistakes. It's life itself. Life happens. They hadn't seen each other in 2 years. Who could have thought that they would meet again?
I am so happy for you, Dex. I really am, but I kind of feel like I've lost you all over again. You know what happens when you have a family, your priorities change, and you lose touch with people, and...
Not necessarily.
No, it happens all the time.
Which leads me to the rollout of their crucial moment. All that development led us here. They've grown, they are friends again, and mostly sort their career paths. Dexter will get there. Despite their odds dying down, the moment that Dexter said that he was going to get married and have a baby, it so happens that Dexter's married life just wasn't all roses. He couldn't provide exactly what his wife Sylvie wanted from him. And so the tables turn and they get divorced, leading us to Dexter 1 year later going to Paris to see Emma, who's making research for her new book. Arriving there, things are a little strange between them. We come to find out that they have been intimate 3 months before and haven't talked about it yet, really.
I mean, we should talk about it. What happened?
Yeah, we can. Just later.
Dexter is dealing with the aftermath of his divorce, and Emma, well, she has moved on. What could have been another troublesome impasse for them is just sorted out in the best way possible. An honest conversation, which, truth be told, Emma wasn't really having it. Which is funny because she always wants to talk things through, but in this case, Dexter wanted. It's the rational versus the emotional. They've switched places, Emma is in charge, which is ironic since at the start of the relationship, Dexter had the upper hand.
To talk about that night, maybe what it meant, I don't know.
This is amazing. You're annoyed because we haven't examined our feelings. You're annoyed because you think I should have waited for you.
No, not waited.
They start diving deeper into the conversation, and Emma asserts that this was a one-time thing. Dexter responds with how he hasn't stopped thinking about it since it happened, the two of them being real. Emma decides to be realistic and respond that their time has passed, plus how she's not the consolation prize, which is a statement that I personally love because it shows her acknowledging her self-worth.
With respect, Dex, you can't just rock up here when you're on your uppers and think good old Emma can always fall back on her. I am not the consolation prize, okay?
I do not think that. It's the opposite.
But to break her narrative that Dexter really wants to commit to her is extremely hard. She is really afraid to let him in, and with reason. She doesn't want to be fooled by him again or her feelings. But when she leaves to have dinner with her boyfriend and leaves Dexter alone at her place, I can imagine that her feelings caught up to her and she couldn't shake the truth lying beneath her. This was the time. On the other hand, we see Dexter at her apartment, devastated that he missed his chance. When it all seems lost, Dexter is taking a shower and we see a silhouette, and we quickly realize who that is. We know that their moment has finally come.
What is it? What's wrong?
Let me tell you.
What?
It's French for tonsillitis. You'll pretend tonsillitis I told Jean-Pierre was coming down with it too.
And it's just so well done. The acting, the soundtrack, the reason she came up to come back to see him, their kiss, the romance, it's as rewarding as a show about a potential couple can get. Emma then says that if he ever hurts her, she'll murder him, stating how serious she is and how crazy it must feel to her that she's getting into this with Dexter. I say the crucial moment of one day is her comeback, but the crucial phrase of one day is this.
I just thought I finally got rid of you.
I don't think you can.
It's what kickstarts their official love journey. With 2 episodes left, we get a glimpse of their day-to-day life and how much they've evolved with themselves and in being a couple. For me, the show ends in episode 13, okay? Because episode 14 is criminal. I get the message that the show is trying to give us about how life is short and how we shouldn't drag on what's important to us. I can't shake it off how it hits twice as harder than in the movie. Cause this Emma, I know her so well. I spend more time with her than the one of the movie. I've actually seen her grow in the show. So it's just a punch in the gut. Especially with what they do with Dexter's character afterwards. Fortunately, I think he finds a middle ground by the end of it. So this is all to say that the triumph of one day is that it feels real. Their relationship is based on familiar struggles and the will they, won't they dynamics. A miniseries gives plenty of time to expand on their story, themselves, and focus on the details of their thoughts, feelings, and passage of time. It's not a coincidence that love through time is one of my favorite genres. From the Before trilogy to Past Lives to Normal People, it's one of the most human things we can go through. And this show really joins the line of its predecessors.
I'm not being a footnote.
A footnote?
Yeah. In the story of your life.
I believe that it's definitely a better adaptation than the movie. It's hard not to love the movie too because it's so charming and Hunter and Gene Sturgis, they just fit their roles really well. But this one just feels like it does more justice to the story. I haven't read the book, so I don't know how close it is to be a good adaptation, but comparing the two visual medias that we have of it, I'd say that the mirror series is superior to the movie. I am in the case of watching the movie when it was released, loving at the time, growing up, rewatching the movie, not being as touched, but also not denying its charm, and now watching this series and realizing its full potential. It really is a sweet and honest look at connection. Thank you so much for watching this analysis. I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!